So that's how they're going to do it with Gunther. And I think it's working. These are my assorted thoughts on the July 15th, 2024 WWE RAW. Welcome to Silo Voice Wrestling on YouTube and the Silo Voice Wrestling podcast, wherever you get your podcasts. I'm Jason C. McLean. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, and of course, ring that bell for notifications to get all my wrestling hot takes, cold takes, simmering takes, WWE Premium Live Event reviews, wrestling opinion pieces, and of course, assorted thoughts on SmackDown and Raw. Now, I'm recording this particular assorted thoughts on July the 19th, Friday, same day as SmackDown in the morning. So I've had a few days to digest this past Raw. And I'm going to focus at first on one particular thing. Damian Priest becoming a babyface. Now, I've said in previous videos that I was hoping Seth Rollins or somebody else would walk into SummerSlam as the World Heavyweight Champion to face Gunther. Basically just not Damian Priest. Also not Drew McIntyre, but that's for a completely different reason. That's because I want him facing Punk. The reason why is Gunther, I believe, is going to win the title, and I think we all want him to win as a major heel. So if he's going to win as a major heel, you need a believable babyface that you can get behind and hope and think he might actually beat Gunther. Now, Priest isn't quite there yet, or he wasn't before this episode of Raw. He's maybe been a bit of a tweener. They've been showing how he's kind of separating from the other members of Judgment Day, except for Rhea Ripley, who's also now a massive babyface. More on her later. But he hasn't fully got the crowd behind him. He hasn't fully shown why we want him to beat Gunther. Did they do it in this episode? I think they did. Priest started out having a bit of fun at Dominic Mysterio's expense. Admittedly, this is par for the course for his interplay with Dirty Dom. He's been sort of chiding him because Dom's been basically lying to him for weeks, saying he sorted things out with Rhea Ripley. He had the same happy-go-lucky, though a bit serious attitude when he went to the ring to confront Gunther. Gunther came out and he started with the same attitude, but then things turned. Now, Priest, as far back as the WrestleMania press conference, had mentioned, sort of, I guess, out of character, that he had a past of 10 years ago, he was living on the streets, and now he's World Heavyweight Champion. He brought up his past again of hardship and living on the street to Gunther in this promo, saying basically, you don't know where I came from, something along those lines. But Gunther took it in a different direction. He even said that living on the streets is a choice, which it's obviously not. That's something only a snobby elite would say. He went as far as calling Priest street trash. And Priest just went back at him with vigor and with earned anger. At one point, Gunther even said, "It's surprising these people don't cheer you, basically because you're just like them." Gunther was the one who was turning Priest babyface. Gunther became this, not just the ring general who's like, tough, but he's become kind of likable recently because we all know he's really good in the ring. But he's just shown how big an a-hole he can be. And he's essentially casting Priest as a babyface and telling the audience why they should like it. And Priest responded, and they got in each other's faces, and it looked like they really wanted to tear each other apart. This wasn't about a championship anymore. Well, for Gunther, it kind of was, because he wanted to, take away the championship to protect the integrity of the business from like lower classes like Priest, and it became like a class war thing. It was, and the audience started to get behind Priest, and like I said, they got right in each other's faces. Then Braun Strowman's music hit because we had a match coming up. Priest versus Braun Strowman was a decent match. Strowman was still the babyface, but Priest won. Then Gunther came back for another confrontation and eventually ducked out of the ring. So that's it. That's the solution. How do you make Damian Priest a viable enough babyface to be an opponent of Gunther at SummerSlam that the audience can get behind? You get Gunther to do it. He's always been kind of snobby, but he's been kind of likable lately. Now, by going all class war, he's effectively making Priest the kind of babyface that just a simple split with members of Judgment Day wouldn't do. In fact, I don't even know if the Judgment Day split is going to properly happen before SummerSlam. But I think Damian Priest is now a bit more serious and way more likable and way more somebody that the crowd can get behind. And all it took was a solid, snobby Gunther promo against him. Moving on now to the other Judgment Day terror twin, Rhea Ripley kicked off the show. Now, while it's possible El Campeon Damian Priest still hasn't broken out of the tweener phase to full-fledged babyface, Mommy Rhea Ripley is most definitely already there. She started off the show, massive crowd pop, Mommy chants. She called out Liv Morgan, wanted Morgan to come out, but of course, instead Dominic Mysterio came out. He's still getting massive boos. More on him later, but Rhea is incredibly over right now. In fact, the crowd wants her to leave Dirty Dom. But then Liv Morgan showed up on the screen. Now, Liv implied she wasn't there because she was tired due to a lot of house shows in Mexico, which the company did do over the weekend. She, of course, implied that she somehow was involved with Dominic Mysterio down there. Of course, Dominic isn't really liking all these implications because he's trying to get back with Mommy. But the important thing is that the match that we all figured was going to happen at SummerSlam and we're sure was going to happen when Rhea came back last week is confirmed. Rhea challenged Liv to a match for the Women's World Championship at SummerSlam. Liv accepted, went off the screen, and then Rhea even did the just watch me into the microphone at the end. It was great. For most of the rest of the night, it was mainly Rhea and the rest of Judgment Day, Dominic. Finn Balor addressed the elephant in the room of Liv Morgan helping them win the tag titles. Rhea said it was okay. So that's sort of buried for now. Of course, I think they might still bring back the theory that I and a lot of people had that Finn Balor secretly working with Liv to throw Damian and Rhea out of the Judgment Day and take over. But most of the focus, of course, was on Dominic trying to win back Rhea's affections. At one point, Priest, having some fun, goaded him into challenging Jey Uso for a match, or rather going to Adam Pearce to get one. This didn't go over well with Rhea, especially the part about Dominic wanting to prove that she was his. She didn't like that. Of course, Jey Uso was all too happy to get this match, considering he's sort of implied in the past and definitely implied now that he kind of has a thing for Rhea. The match happened, and in the middle, Liv Morgan came out. I guess she wasn't that sick after all. She was there, and she, of course, somehow found her way on top of Dominic Mysterio. Rhea came out. Dom professed his innocence. Liv ran away through the crowd. Rhea forced Dom to continue the match. Jey Uso won, and as Rhea's taking Dom away, he gives her a call me gesture. Who knows? They might make that a thing. Rhea and Jey Uso. And then backstage, Rhea told Dom, "I'm not yours, you're mine," and gave him the rose back. So the night ended on a good note for Dominic. Who knows? I mean, I was sure that he was going to end up siding with Liv, and that was going to keep him a heel to make Rhea a babyface, because she can't really be a total babyface if she's with Dom. But who knows? I kind of have sympathy for Dom now. I mean, it was clear that he was being played by Liv, and Rhea wasn't ready to, take him back yet. But eventually, at the end, she did. I still think that the rest of Judgment Day, like Finn Balor, JD McDonough, and now Carlito, are going to side with Liv Morgan against Priest and Rhea. But I'm wondering where Dom's going to stand. Is it possible to turn Dom into a babyface? No. But is it possible to have him still get booed when he's next to Rhea, who everyone loves? Maybe. I still think that maybe he's going to go on the other side and he's just going to stay a heel. She's going to stay a babyface. They're also definitely coding this like Eddie Guerrero trying to apologize to China, and eventually Eddie Guerrero did turn heel and China remained a babyface. So maybe they're going that route. It is very interesting. I love that Rhea's back and that she's so over. The Rhea Liv story is a great story. And I'm actually intrigued to see the role Dom is going to play in this. Is he really Dirty Dom, or is he just sort of Dom who got screwed over? We'll find out. Drew McIntyre almost got reinstated, but he refused to apologize to the referees. In fact, he attacked them. Seth Rollins came in and took out Drew. Now, I really hope they weren't going the Triple-Threat match for SummerSlam. I really want to see Punk versus Drew, grudge match, and then Punk versus Seth, maybe. But you know what? It looks like they are maybe going the Triple-Threat route. And I'm okay with it if it's because maybe CM Punk is not fully ready to come back. He might be medically cleared, but not fully ready to do a proper one-on-one match. And if that's the case, with these three guys, I'm sure they could make a triple threat match really interesting. I just think it's a little bit of a waste to do both really interesting storylines together. I'd say do one then the other. Both storylines being Drew and Punk and Seth and Punk. But if they end up doing it together, that's fine. But still, it was good to see Drew being Drew on the show. It made perfect sense storyline wise. Punk is back next week. I imagine Drew's not back next week. Maybe they're just trying to keep Punk and Drew away from each other until they actually fight at SummerSlam. Who knows? We'll find out. After a quite good Intercontinental title match with Sami Zayn defending against Ilya Dragunov, Braun Breaker predictably interfered, spearing Dragunov and then taking out Zayn. Now, this is one triple threat match that I want to see happen. I think it works really well for this storyline. It gives a way to get Braun Breaker the belt without Sami Zayn having to be pinned or lose it. Keep Sami strong, gets Braun strong. Who knows? Maybe Ilya can get the belt. I don't know. Or maybe Sami can retain and it can augment the feud between Ilya and Braun, something that's been going since the NXT days. So I actually like the triple threat angle that they seem to be going with the Intercontinental title picture. Chad Gable and the Creed brothers attacked Bo Dallas. No, not Bo Dallas as Uncle Howdy, Bo Dallas. It was kind of cheesy, but kind of funny how Gable spent most of the show saying he knew who Uncle Howdy was when everybody clearly knows. And then, of course, he calls him out to the ring and he comes out without the mask or anything like that. And then the Creed brothers attacked him, only for Dallas to start cackling. Then the creepy music hit and the rest of the Wyatt Six came out with their masks on. And I like two things about this. I like the fact that, as everyone predicted, Gable's now aligned with the Creed brothers, some sort of new Alpha Academy, or maybe a different name, who knows. And the fact that they're showing, in fact, they're emphasizing the fact that these creepy characters aren't supernatural, but are actually just people that feel the need to put on these masks and act out these parts and become these creepy characters. So it's not supernatural. In fact, they had a video with another one of the Wyatt Six videos with Eric Rowan talking about why he wanted to wear the mask. I like the fact that they're not actually pretending they're supernatural. I like the fact that they're integrating it into the world of the WWE, the sort of real kayfabe world of the WWE. And it's an interesting way to bring these ideas into that world. And I think now it kind of makes sense that Gable and the Creeds might be their first opponents. And then maybe we're going to go back to Gable and the Creeds versus Otis and what have you. Although I think Otis might be maybe moving a little bit down the card. It's too bad we're not going to get at any time soon or when it's hot, Otis versus Gable. But this feud is a good substitute. I'm starting to think that Sonya Deville's faction with Shayna Baszler and Zoe Stark has potential. First, they took out Zelina Vega. Then they took out Caden Carter and Katana Chance and Lyra Valkyria, who was at ringside. So they're definitely badass. They're definitely strong. And maybe this is the way to go with these characters. It also makes me think something should happen, which I'm going to talk about in a video I promised on the SmackDown Assorted Thoughts. So it's going to come out later. It's a wrestling opinion video. Wait for that to come. And we are doing a feud between Sheamus and Pete Dunne. I guess New Catch Republic isn't really a thing anymore. Anyways, I'm okay with this feud. Let's see where it goes. And these were my assorted thoughts on the July 15th, 2024 WWE RAW. Do you agree with me? Is there anything you think I should have included but didn't? Let me know in the comments. Follow at Silo Wrestling on X, at SVS Reviews on Instagram and Facebook, and me at Jason C. McLean on X and Instagram. And make sure you like, share, subscribe, and ring that bell for notifications. I'll catch you next in my SmackDown Assorted Thoughts, SmackDown's tonight, and my wrestling opinion video, which I've been teasing for a little bit. For Silo Voice Studios in Montreal, I'm Jason C. McLean.